there everyone, it's Tuesday evening, it's Weather for Weather Geeks time. More quiet weather for today. We have one feature that we're going to be tracking over the next couple of days, aside from high pressure, and that's a cold front on Wednesday, which we will detail in just a moment. First, today's numbers, it was a toasty one today after a comfortably cool start, seasonably cool I should say, 51. The low this morning at 4:31 a.m., but at 3:47 we reached 78. At the Youngstown Warren Airport today. Records today 30 on the low side and 95 toasty degrees back in 1941. We still have kind of that ruddy sky out there this evening. We still have that high altitude wildfire smoke. This is most noticeable in the sky early in the day and then late in the day as the long distance in the atmosphere, the sun's rays have to travel, scatter more of that particulate matter in the high altitudes. This is all from Canada. Wildfire has been raging for a few weeks now up in Canada, and occasionally these plumes of smoke have been coming down and making for some colorful sunrises and sunsets, and we will have another one this evening. If you are going to be up late tonight, pretty decent space station flyby coming up tonight just before midnight, starting at 11:50, appearing in the northwest sky, disappearing about 2.5 to 3 minutes later in the northwest sky at about 37 degrees above the horizon. Now there's been brighter and higher space station flybys, but this will be a pretty good one with a mostly clear sky overhead this evening. Nationwide, the weather pretty quiet this evening. Here's our next weather maker. It's up here. This is the cold front that we'll dive in as we go into Wednesday afternoon and Wednesday evening. Otherwise, severe weather threat eastern New Mexico, parts of Texas this evening, West Texas, but aside from that, yeah, pretty quiet from coast to coast. Let's head to the other side of the world. This is a super typhoon. Now, in this part of the world, they're called typhoons and not hurricanes, but same kind of system. This is the equivalent of almost a Category 5 hurricane out there this evening. To get your bearings, over here is China, and then down here is Australia. And Mawar, I'm unsure of the 100% unsure of the correct pronunciation of this, but nonetheless, it is a beast with 140 mile per hour winds and higher gusts. And this is a little island right here. This is Guam. It's going to take a direct hit over the next 12 hours or so, and that's unfortunate because, again, this is a pretty strong system. High-end Category 4 to Category 5 equivalent hurricane, even though it's a super typhoon is what they call it over here. So that's going to be a big global weather story as we go towards tonight and into tomorrow as well. Back in the Atlantic Basin, we don't have too many tropical concerns usually around here. Sometimes we get remnants from a previously landfall tropical system. It's usually weakening as it comes northward. Sometimes we'll get in on some heavy rain, but of course we don't take direct hits from hurricanes or tropical storms around here. But nonetheless, here's the list for 2023. Now, we are expecting El Nino to have an influence on the Atlantic hurricane season. Usually in an El Nino, you see a reduction in hurricane activity in the Atlantic Basin because of increased wind shear. That being said, the Atlantic itself, don't forget El Nino's over in the Pacific, but the Atlantic Ocean itself is quite warm, which would lend credence to the idea that it may be a pretty active season, but El Nino might kind of counteract that warm water and lead to a reduction of activity. But yeah, here's a look at the list for 2023. Back here at home, cold fronts over Lake Erie first thing in the morning, diving through the valley in the afternoon, right around maybe 2, 3, 4 o'clock. Could there be a shower or sprinkle, especially in areas south of I-80? That's going to be possible. Most of us stay dry. And then a significant but brief cool down coming for Wednesday night into Thursday night, Friday morning. We'll spend a few hours near 40 around daybreak, both Thursday morning and Friday morning, but we're looking for a lot of sun both Thursday and Friday. In fact, Friday afternoon will just be drop-dead gorgeous as temperatures get back into the low 70s. All right, we're keeping an eye on the weekend forecast, of course, and the same feature that we were talking about last evening is still something we're keeping a close eye on the models for the upcoming weekend, with a lot of people having outdoor plans for the Memorial Day holiday. Today, the trends have been our friend, if you will. The upper level low, this guy right down here, has jogged a little bit farther to the south with today's modeling, and that would further reduce the chances of any sort of shower activity in our area. Now, we've maintained a low-end shower chance in our Sunday forecast, but if we see another run or two of the modeling that continues kind of shifting this a little more to the south, we'll probably end up removing that shower chance from Sunday's forecast as high pressure looks to be a little bit closer. But nonetheless, this is still not in the bag. It's not etched on a tablet just yet, this idea of a completely dry holiday weekend forecast, but odds are favoring mostly dry and a warm-up coming for the weekend as well. In fact, this area of low pressure probably then goes like this next week, far enough to the east that we'll probably not see that many impacts at all, and in its wake, more dry weather, probably warmer weather as well beyond the holiday weekend. Here's a look at the next 10 days versus average. By 10 days from now, which is June the, 2nd or 3rd, our average high is about 75 degrees. And if we're 8, 9, 10, 11 degrees above that, that puts us in the mid-80s. I think we've got some mid-80s in our future. Probably not for Memorial Day, but just beyond that, for the few days beyond that. A lot of school districts have their last few days of school, of course, coming up just beyond Memorial Day. And it'll be a pretty toasty end to the school year, it looks like. And it looks pretty dry as well. Very little rain next week to 10 days. And that's no surprise if you've been watching these videos of late, but we're going to be talking more and more about how dry it's getting at the end of May and into early June. There are signs that maybe the pattern turns more active by the 2nd and 3rd weeks of June. But through the first week of June, yeah, this is pretty slim pickings in the rainfall department. Thanks for watching Weather for Weather Geeks on this Tuesday evening. You can check out Wednesday's videos, same time, same place.